Good Shabbos, Shabbos Chazak, a Shabbos of strength, and we definitely need to have a Shabbos Chazak, as we're all, every Jew, every place of the world is dealing with this horrific story, horrific attack, horrific murder, terrorism. And as we lost the life of Yaron Lipszyc and Sarah Milgrim. And to be honest with you, I allowed myself to feel every single emotion. I allowed myself to feel anger. I allowed myself to feel despair. I allowed myself to feel broken, hopeless. I've allowed myself to feel hopeful. I've allowed myself to feel the need for vengeance. I wasn't hiding any of the emotions, and I was just feeling them and understanding what each emotion does. And at the outcome of all of these emotions, I realized that if I embrace any of these emotions as the way I'm going to feel and deal with this, then they won. Despair, definitely broken, hopeless, just an anger, unfocused need for vengeance. This is all us losing and them winning. And then I asked myself, what am I supposed to do? I hold a pulpit. I'm a representative and an emissary of the Rebbe. What am I supposed to do? Everything is being posted. What am I supposed to do? Post another outcry? Post another insight? And then I said, okay, then let me stop being me and ask myself the question I've dedicated my life to. What would the Rebbe have me say, have me do, have me live for these two Kedoshim, holy ones that were killed for no other reason than they are Jewish? So I want to take a different understanding, again, trying to get out of the way, trying to align myself to be a conduit with the Rebbe's teachings. I want to take a different approach here for a moment. First and foremost, the lives of every Jew, the lives of every human is holy. And hatred and murder and terrorism is an abomination, period, end of story. But I would like to just suggest the war that is going on here is not about the murder of Jews. It's not about free Palestine. I think it's something far deeper that this week's Torah portion will give us an insight to. I don't think the anti-Semites, yes, there was the Holocaust, and yes, let us not kid ourselves. The Holocaust could happen again at any moment, God forbid. There is no, we've come to a place where the world is safe, America is safe, so many countries would never let it happen. Just go back to October 8th and see what the countries did and didn't allow happen and what they're allowing for it to happen in the free world, in America, in England. I mean, let's not even talk about Europe. But I think that ultimately that's not right now what they're thinking. We're going to kill another 6 million. We're going to wipe out, all the Jews. I think what's really going on here is exactly some of the feelings I allowed myself to feel is what they want. So let's talk about the Torah portion. One very powerful verse here in the Torah portion. Ve'oilech eschem koimemius, and I will lead you upright. Now, the definition of upright I think that's what at least the Jewish leaders that are presenting the religious side of leadership, I think that's what we need to find within ourselves and bring to everyone. The war that's being waged upon us is a war to break us from walking upright. It's a war in which people in Europe are changing their last names so it shouldn't sound Jewish on the Uber. Literally, I'm not just hypothesizing. I had people who told me from France that they changed their last name on the Uber because it sounded too Jewish and they didn't think their kids are safe. I think that is the ultimate war. The ultimate war is to break the koimimius of the Jewish people. And I think that what we need to focus on right now, of course there are other things to focus. Of course Israel needs to do what Israel needs to do. And of course in America we need to do what we need to do. Of course we need to protect every single life, not just from murder, but even from insults, even from being beaten, of course. But on the inside of the shul, what should we be talking about? When we're meeting together, what should we be talking about? We should be talking about absolutely the bringing up of the koimimius. At all costs, we must stand upright. This is the story of our history. Different religions wanted us to believe that we were, abandoned by God. We are not the chosen. We are whatever it may be that the world keeps on doing, whether they shaved our heads and try to turn us into numbers. It's always that ultimate war of are we or are we not koimimius? Are we or are we not going to walk upright? And under the worst conditions, Joseph in prison, Joseph as a slave, a prince in prison is a prince. No matter what we go through, we need to hold on to the one thing that they're consistently trying to break. Because when we stop feeling that God is walking us and leading us upright, then it makes no difference if we are alive or not alive to them. If the sovereignty of Israel is under and subservient and not upright, but we feel that we have to, even in our own country, walk with our head bowed. Oh, come on, be realistic, Rabbi. We need the money from America. We need the weapons and that so forth. Unless we don't learn that everyone and everything is nothing more than a conduit for God's blessing, but it is God himself who leads us upright. So, my friends, yes, we hurt. Yes, we wonder what is our next step to do, you and I. But the first and foremost thing is this Shabbos, find yourself in a shul and stand there upright, not broken, not petrified, not in a mode of defeat, but absolutely upright. And why do we walk upright? Because God leads us, and God leads us upright. This, my dear friends, I think for you and I, this Shabbos needs to be the primary focus of our response, not to them, but to ourselves. We walk upright because God leads us. Shabbat Shalom.